Hey guys, it's Troy here. Chase is not with me today because he is currently working out right there. Looking good.
Hey.
But anyways, you guys saw the title of the video. I'm going to be talking about what it was like when I was told that I had cancer when I was 16, and I'm going to just walk you guys through like how I felt that day, how I felt going past it, how I feel today thinking about it. And yeah, I did a video about my whole cancer story a year ago. The quality is really bad. I filmed it on a MacBook. Not proud of it, but I will list it below if you guys want to hear the whole story about when I was diagnosed, how my friends and family reacted. All that is in the video below if you want to go check that out. And yeah. So this video, I'm just going to go right on into it, and I'm going to start it off when I was at the hospital. A little backstory, I touched more on this in the video a year ago, but I will just bring it up so you guys are caught up if you don't watch that video. So basically, my mom works at a hospital, and I was on the bus one morning going to school, and a girl who had pink eye decided to sit next to me, and that got me so paranoid that like a girl with pink eye sat next to me. So I automatically assumed, oh, now I have pink eye. So as soon as I got to school, I called my mom, and I had mom come get me to take me to her work so I could get checked out, make sure I didn't have it. And I didn't have it, luckily. So there was always a spot on the back of my leg that like I was worried about, but like I was 16. When you're 16, you don't really think like, oh, I should get this checked out. It might be bad. Like you think about like, I don't know, annoying teenager stuff. But so I didn't think it was a big deal ever. But when we were at the doctor's appointment, I think my mom pointed it out. It was kind of like it was like a mole on the back of my leg. It wasn't big at all, and it had some like discoloring in it. I guess it had like a blue tint. And my mom was like, "Can we check that out?" And the doctor automatically was like, "He needs to get that checked out." My mom's hospital does not do stuff like that, so we had to go call to go schedule an appointment at the skin doctor, which is like a 30-minute drive. So like I think it was the next day or two, I'd like to say, we drove to that guy, and this is where I'm starting what happened, how I found out. So we get to the skin doctor, and my mom and I both were just like, like there's no way it could be anything bad. There's no way it could be cancer. Like we both were going into it so naive because you hear it happening all the time on the news, but you never think like this could happen to me. So we both went into it just like, oh, it's probably some like abnormality. We just thought it was some like abnormality that's just I don't know. But as soon as he saw it, he just like cut straight to the chase. Like as soon as he saw it, he looked up at us and he was like, "This is cancer." Like he was like, this has to be cancer." And automatically, I like you could look over at like I looked over at my mom's face, and her face was just like the most terrified. I would never want to see it again. You know when like your mom's really upset and like it just hurts you so bad. Like that was me looking at her. Like she was holding it so well. Proud of mom for holding it so well together in the hospital. And I just remember feeling numb to everything. I don't think I was scared at first. I think I was more like in denial. I think I was more like thinking like this isn't real. This isn't happening. I'm only 16. He has to be wrong. And he was he was a doctor, let me tell you. He was a time. He automatically was like he was saying how he could see the possibility that I'd lose my leg at least. And like he told us like be prepared because he possibly will lose his leg because I guess I don't know. I guess it was severe on the charts. So I was never into um checking my moles and freckle. I don't even know if you check freckles, but I was not into all that. Like, I didn't know that that's what you're supposed to do. None of my family has ever had any kind of cancer. I don't think. So like I didn't know that that's what you're supposed to do. I didn't know what to look for. I just thought that it was just a thing that was going. I don't know. I was very naive, and you shouldn't be. So if you have any spot on your body that does not look right, I want you to go talk to somebody and make sure you're okay, because it is not worth risking it. Okay, on to the story. So anyways, he was like, you guys need to get this taken out immediately. So he scheduled us an appointment, I think, for the following week, because they were booked, I remember. Because I remember that week was just like the week from hell. It was the worst week of my life. I just remember I'll get into the drama. But, so in the car riding back from the hospital, I remember I was still feeling numb. I remember just still feeling like this isn't happening. And my mom, bless my mom's heart, she would not come out of that. Like, I was waiting. She told me to go to the car, and I was waiting in the car for like 10 minutes for her to get out. So, like, I can only imagine what was happening inside the hospital. But I just remember I was more upset that she was upset than I was that I had cancer. I don't know. But in the car ride back, I remember she had to pull over and get out of the car, and she was on the phone with one of my aunts, and like she tried her best to get as far away from the car so I couldn't hear it, but I could still hear her. And that's when I started being like, okay, like in my head I was like, okay, they might have told her something in there that really scared her, so then that scared me. So then I just remember I was texting my best friend, and I let her know everything that was happening. And I started bawling my eyes out then, texting her everything, because that's when it started to hit me that, oh my God, this isn't a dream, this is actually happening. I'm a 16-year-old who has just been diagnosed with cancer. And when we got home and I had to tell my siblings, that was, I thought looking at my mom being upset was hard, but looking at like my little sister and seeing her cry was the worst feeling in the world. And just seeing all my family, like my stepdad, I've never seen my stepdad cry, and like seeing him cry really got to me. And I think that's the hardest part, is letting other people know and then seeing them try to be strong for you. I guess that's the hardest part for me. Yeah. So that feeling sucked for sure. So my camera's dying, so I gotta hurry. So the next day at school, I tried my best to keep this a secret. I told my two best friends. I told the one yesterday, and then I came to school and took the other one in a room and told her. And I don't know how, I don't even care to know how, but that rumor got out to everybody, and everybody in the school was talking about it. I wasn't the most popular kid, so I was bullied pretty bad my freshman and sophomore year of high school. There was guys in older grades that would, you know, call me names, make fun of me. I was tripped one day, but that's a whole nother thing. Like, I don't want to get into that. But, this situation happened at the end of my sophomore year when I was still dealing with stuff like that, and I was so afraid that people would find out and just be mean about it. This was a situation that was new to me. I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know how to react to it. So I was afraid that if they found out about it, I would just be a target of some bullying that I don't know if I could really keep it together, because I was super scared as it was. So yeah. So I just remember people would come up to me and they would just basically scream in the hall, like they just wanted everybody to know. One girl in particular, I just remember she came right up to me. We were decent friends, and she just came right to me in the middle of everybody and was like, "So I hear you have cancer." And I was just like, I was so upset. I just walked right away. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And my teacher at the time, her name was Mrs. Dyer. She knew about it because it went around school, and she pulled me into her classroom and she talked with me and she cried with me, and it was the sweetest thing. Um, she recently just passed away from cancer, so it's like really, ah. But I will never be able to thank her enough for everything she did then, because it really helped me. But so that feeling sucked. Um, it was an awful time. I think it's more or less harder knowing that everybody, like, it's harder knowing that everybody's looking at you differently. I didn't feel any different. I felt just like how I was. I just knew that I had, I just had this disease that it's dangerous. I knew that, but like I didn't feel any different. But I just felt more like a weirdo because everybody just looked at me like, oh, there's that kid with cancer, there he is. And I felt embarrassed by it. Then I didn't want to own the fact. I don't know, I was just very embarrassed. And I think that's more or less, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't know what I'm trying to say. um, hmm. But, so that's how I felt when I was going through it. It was more of an embarrassment for me when I had cancer. Now I'm going to talk about when I beat cancer and how I felt about it and how I feel about it today. When I beat cancer, I don't know. I felt proud of myself, but I felt like the way my school took it really affected me negatively because I knew it was going to come back and people wouldn't like, I didn't want sympathy, but instead of like treating me like, they treated me more like I was dying. Even when I beat it, they treated me like, oh, watch out, there's Trey. Like he had like I got cancer jokes. All as awful as that was, and as awful as it sounds, I had people literally make cancer jokes to me all the time, thinking that it was funny. And to me, it was like I would laugh just because I didn't want to like seem like I was so like easily offended. But it hurt so bad knowing that people made jokes. People would look at the scar on the back of my leg and they would always point out how bad it was. And one of my guy best friends, he literally pointed it out one day in class and he was like, oh, it looks like it's coming back, because it's a pretty bad scar. And I just remember like just sitting there like, why would you say that? Like, why would you point out a scar and say that your cancer is going to come back? Like, that's as awful as it is for me. I have to go to a hospital every 6 months. Well, now it's a year, but I had to go every 6 months, get completely naked, get strip searched. I've had over a dozen spots on me getting taken off. I've had spots taken off of my head. I've had on the heel of my foot a spot taken off. On my back, I've had 4 or 5. I just recently got one on my shoulder taken off. I have a scar on my belly, all from this cancer situation. And that's also, I think, why it was more of an embarrassment, because it made me more hate my body in a way, because it was just, I don't know, it was just a bad time all around. And bullying really, I think bullying was the worst part about having cancer. That was definitely, because I was bullied for scars and for everything you guys just heard about. So definitely that did not help the situation. I feel like if I wasn't put in that environment, my whole story would be much easier. My family, I could never thank them enough for how supportive and easy it was to like deal with them with the situation. But school was definitely the worst dealing with. How I feel about the situation now, I feel so proud of myself. Like, I cannot tell you how proud I am of myself and how I can own that now. I couldn't own that when I was 16, 17, but I'm 28 years old, and I'm proud to say that I beat cancer when I was 16 years old, and I am proud of the fact that I'm proud of all my scars. You know, people might joke and laugh. I have a big scar on my leg, I have a big scar on my stomach, I have numerous on my back, and I'm proud of that because that makes me me. I'm proud of my tattoo. I got this on my 18th birthday, and it says we define ourselves by the best that is in us, not the worst that's been done to us. And that's how I feel about the situation. I'm defining myself by all the good things about myself. Not the fact that I was some cancer kid, but the fact that I beat cancer. That's why I'm proud of myself. And I today own up to who I am. So yeah, I just wanted to just do a little PSA, public service, yeah, PSA. If you have went through something traumatic and you are afraid that people will bully you for it, just know that it will get better, and I love you, and I know that you have a support system somewhere at least. There's always someone to turn to, and yeah. So yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Chase is right there staring at me this whole time, and that made me extremely nervous. So, thank you. But, love you guys, and see you next time. Bye!